I also played Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. John, you touched this,
Cool.
right?
John hates that game.
Well, I rooted for the downfall of the game. I do have it downloaded. I just,
Oh, okay. You haven't yet.
I haven't gotten around to it.
Gotcha.
I have touched this.
Oh,
You have.
I've been playing it over the last couple of days. I'm still pretty early on.
Okay.
I'm in where am I right now? I'm in like a monastery type place. A lot of creatures. I'm in the Vatican.
Okay, you're still in the Vatican, which is I say still, but there's only a few areas in the game, and they act as like,
I
large
assumed
hubs.
that exactly. I felt like the Vatican was going to be an area it's going to keep coming back to, but maybe I'm wrong.
Well, the way it's separated is like huge areas with a lot to do, and then you move on to the next area, and then the next area.
Okay, yeah.
But you can't go back, which is cool. Yeah, I would say it has a lackluster first impression, like the first 20 to 30 minutes, which just kind of recreates the opening of the first Indiana Jones movie. And that's just like pressing buttons, technically interactive. But once the game opens up, it really opens up. So don't let the beginning put you off. It's definitely an immersive sim style game, like Dishonored or what have you.
I wasn't even going to bring it up just because I'm still very early, but the one thought I had to mention was that I'm really digging the immersive sim aspect of the game.
Yeah, it's like Dishonored mixed with Ubisoft style.
No, dude, it really is like a modern
It's a good game.
Dishonored. Honestly,
it was supposed to be shit.
Honestly, you have a lot more refined observations than I have. You've actually finished the game. The first like level or two, I had a few observations. I was like, that's cool. One thing is that like shooting feels kind of vicious in a good way, but like damn, like I almost feel bad shooting people, which is probably the intended feeling, but still.
The combat in general, I think largely due to the sound design,
brutal.
which is borrowed from the films, is brutal. Yeah, it feels impactful.
It's condemned. Like, what are you guys talking about? It's like
no, dude. I love that I could pick up like any as you walk it along. Like you could pick up almost anything as a melee object and use it as a weapon to like beat
somebody to death.
Cave
you're being a
fascist,
dude. You're
do you kill them or do they just like go unconscious?
No, you kill them. No, you kill them. I mean, you shoot a man dead.
Yeah,
there's not even like a non-lethal option. You're straight killing them.
That's crazy. John would love this game. It's a shame he's not allowed to play it.
I mean, I think a lot of the times when you're beating people up, one could ambiguously say you're just knocking them out. But I think in the context of the game, like you're assumed to be ending their life.
I would say so. But yeah, it does have Ubisoft style, like Far Cry stuff, I guess you would call it, like side mission collectibles, exploring these large open hub areas, solving mysteries in them, and as Andy's talking about, punching caving fascist heads in. So it really does feel like you're playing in an Indiana Jones movie. Which this is the experience that you have in mind when you envision like an idealized Indiana Jones game. I think the most of any indie game to date.
It's surprising how much he looks and sounds like Indiana Jones. I'm not
Absolutely.
even a big Indiana
Troy Baker's
Jones
doing
fan. It's just hard
kind of
not
a
to
crazy
notice.
impression. They modeled him after Indy, obviously, at Harrison Ford as Indy, but Troy Baker does a very, very good impression.
That's cool.
But I don't mean the game is perfect, but I just mean that it embodies like that pie in the sky adventure film to game conversion.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know if I would say like I'm as jazzed. Like it's not like an RPG, right? I can't say I'm as jazzed as I would be necessarily like a Dishonored or a Prey, but I think it's really cool so far. It's surprising, for sure.
You bought that, or are you playing it on Game Pass? Did you say that?
Game Pass. I played it through.
I'm Gamer Passing as well.
I had a unique idea. I was gonna buy this game for Christmas for my basically brother-in-law.
Family share it.
He's a big Indiana Jones fan, so I was gonna buy it for him on Steam as the Christmas gift. But I'm in the same Steam family as him, so I would get to play it too. And it just happens to be a gift for both of us. But the angel on my shoulder woke up and it said, Just get him Game Pass for a couple months, because then he could just play this game and other games.
True.
But then I don't profit off of it, though. I don't profit.
I feel like he'd understand, he'd be like, yeah, this makes logical sense that you should be able to play Indiana Jones as well.
Yeah,
as an Indiana Jones lover, he'd want people like you to play it.
Right?
He'd want his family to
shouldn't
enjoy
I be
it as
able
well.
to play it?
It's like $10.
Why shouldn't I?
Yes.
Just pay $10. You'll play the game once. Like you'll beat it in a month.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
But yeah, the setting, the characters, the music, even down to the typeface, and of course Baker's performance as Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones, all like very pitch perfect Indiana Jones. Mr. Ford was not lying up on that TGA stage. That Troy Baker did a good job. I think the game honestly could have had less content in it, like fewer collectibles, and
I was starting
maybe
to
a
feel
tighter
that immediately.
narrative flow. That's funny that you're feeling it even in the Vatican, because
well, I'm a guy like you that if I can get 100%, I will. So like
yes.
in games like this, I pick up very early on like how am I doing as far as collectibles go, and you can like see, you got an X out of X things. And the first level was not so bad. There's like one thing to get. But then by the second level, there's like 4 different things, of which there's like 50 of.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's like, I mean, at that point, I'm telling myself, like, this is a game where I just collect what I can, and I'm not going to get too bent out of shape about it.
Right, because what it does is the collecting really treads on the pacing, interferes with the pacing of like the story content, which
and I'm trying not to let that happen, because I'm definitely prone to that.
I think that's a good move. The side quests, the side missions actually do feed back into the main story, which is great. I think that's a great thing to do, is to make everything feel like it's part of the same narrative. However,
I beat a side mission and it gave me like a better vantage point for the next like story objective or something.
Yeah,
like that.
or like new insight into a piece of lore or something like that.
Right.
It's great, but what it does when you have so much collecting in there is it just like you come back to the narrative and you're like, oh yeah, I was doing this in between all of my collecting, which is the real shit, the archaeology I'm doing, picking up artifacts and shit.
I was also saving the world from Nazis or something. Yeah.
Right.
But I mean,
I was just slaughtering
the collecting
people
is thematic, like you said. Like you're an archaeologist, you would be picking through all different kinds of artifacts
that is true.
And nodes and runes and shit.
But in one of the movies, you'd have that like trimmed fat by nature of it being a film, only an hour and a half long or whatever.
You'd also have like a less interested side along character who's like, come on, Indy, we gotta go,
Right. Yes. And as I said, one of the best features is that the game does let you go back to previous areas you visited, so you can never get locked out of collecting anything or just going through any of the side content.
Is it worth collecting things to a certain extent, like as far as like it gets you like points for upgrades and that kind of thing?
So, yes, in that sense. And also that it does contribute towards like a secret ending, but I would say the secret ending is like watch it on YouTube tier.
Like it's an extra cutscene after the credits kind of thing.
Exactly that, yes.
Yeah.
So watch it on YouTube. I would say don't worry about collecting every little thing, unless you're doing it for just you want to level up like certain upgrade paths or whatever. Which I don't think you need all of everything in that regard either.
Mr. Jones, Captain America would like to speak with you. What?
I'm assembling a team. One thing that does bug me is something that always bugs me when it crops up, which is like Dishonored, like Assassin's Creed, like Far Cry. You can become an army annihilating killing machine in gameplay. So you let me loose in an enemy encampment. Get ready for population 0. But as soon as the next significant story cutscene starts, we are back to narrative-induced ineptitude from Indy.
Yeah,
which it's not always this egregious. He
drops the gun. He misses the whip crack.
Yes, he gets the dropped on him. It gets to the point where you are sort of dreading the next significant story cutscene because you know that it means another narrative setback. Yeah, some kind of thing like, oh, Indy falls behind again. As always, it's not a big deal, but it's just annoying to me. So not perfect as a game, but pitch perfect and a great deal of fun to be had in the Great Circle. I enjoyed it.
Cool.
I
So
won't
John-
believe it. No.
So John is not allowed.
Imagine my head melting like the guy in
John,
Covenant.
there's an
Right,
early scene
from
that
the
kind of got me that I think will kind of get you, where like the Vatican's explaining, like, well, actually, there was a secret conspiracy related to this in the year 600, and like the priest is like going through this like ancient Vatican lore. He's like, but nobody thought that could be true. I was like,
Also, I find it
"Oh,
funny
kind
that
of
the friend priest character is played by I forget his name, Enrico something or other. He's the guy who played like the leader of the Quirmians in Galaxy
oh
Quest.
yeah, okay, yeah.
He's one of those character actors. I was like, wait, is that guy? I was like,
I thought he was a guy. I didn't quite map it onto that, but that's cool to know.
Yeah. There's a couple. I mean, like Tony Todd is in the game. There's a couple people who are like, oh, they're like not just they're portraying the character, but they're also modeling them after that actor, which is always fun.